Uniutama.fm, informasi minda Anda.
Hi and welcome to Uniutama FM. I'm DJ Shini. Today I'm going to present a documentary about Indian civilization for 30 minutes. Come along and listen to the documentary what it's about. I hope it will give some important information to the listeners of Uniutama FM as well.
Over a span of 200,000 years, it is estimated that over 100 billion humans have walked the earth. Our ancestors have experienced lots of stories and overcame many obstacles in this world, thus leading to the peaceful and harmonious world we live in today. In this episode, let us go back to the past to witness one of the most special civilizations in the world, the Indian civilization. India is one of the best known countries in the world. Its area of territory stretches from the Himalayan peaks at the north to Sri Lanka at the south. As the second most popular country, India has the 7th largest and second fastest growing economy in the world. The potential for India to become one of the most powerful countries in the world is due to its various achievements in many fields, especially medicine and astronomy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All of this is based on the intelligence of Indian people to grow their country stronger and more successful, just like how their ancestors communicate with each other, leading to the formation of an ancient civilization that is so special and uncomparable from the rest. The existence of the Indian civilization can be traced back to 70,000 years ago, when ancient humans in Africa started to travel and spread around the world. Around 9,000 years ago, a small group began to settle down around Indus River at the east of Pakistan today. Some tiny farming villages started to form throughout the river valley. People planted wheat, barley, rice and vegetables for meals. They also domesticated animals for meat, including sheep, pigs, zebus and water buffaloes. Fish that were caught from the river using fishing rods were also in their diet. It took nearly 4,000 years for these small villages to thrive and grow into two big cities, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, having as many as 80,000 inhabitants. Both of the cities were divided into large walled neighborhoods, all based on square, orderly grids, with the houses arranged in straight rows and narrow lanes separating the houses. The cities had no monarchical kingship, like other contemporary civilizations, but a collection of over 1,500 towns are loosely connected by ties of trade and alliance, and ruled by landlords and rich merchants. In these cities, people used wooden carts with wheels for transportation, They even used boats and ships to carry out trades. All these daily activities of ancient Indian people reflect their intelligence of the use of their surrounding resources wisely to develop technology for daily use. Priests played a dominant role in Hinduism, a religion where people worship and believe in multiple gods, and is still one of the leading religions in the world today after thousands of years. At the beginning, the Indus society worshipped Sakti, the mother of goddesses, and Pasupati, which is the lord of animals. The Indus people have a great sense of art. They wear colorful robes, mainly sari for female and dhoti for male. This dress code is still one of the traditional clothing preserved until today. The women like to wear gold and precious stone jewelry, just like Indian women today when wearing traditional clothes. The dancing figure engraved by archaeologists reveals the interest and intrinsic talent of Indian people in dancing and singing since the beginning of their civilization. The Indus people were also excellent craftsmen, as they could produce exquisite pieces of craftwork. Though a bit crude, the anatomical detailing in their potteries and sculptures is worth applauding for. Animal and human figures have been carefully carved and chiseled to get a refined effect and portray physical details in a very fine way. The arts and crafts of the ancient Indian civilization basically reveal the mentality of the people. However, the greatest mystery of the Harappa civilization is how it came to an end. Archaeologists working in Mohenjo-daro have discovered signs of a sudden destruction of the city and its inhabitants around 3,000 years ago, which may be caused by massive explosions equivalent to a nuclear blast. Many of the skeletons have been found in postures of running or hiding. So, what caused the destruction of two big cities? It remains unknown. However, the Indus civilization hadn't fully vanished from the world, as many of the prominent cultures of the Indus people are still practiced by Indian people until now. But then, here they come, right after the decline of the Indus civilization. The Aryan people, who traveled from somewhere around Europe and Asia today to settle down in the Indus Valley. Here, they get to extend their political mastery, taking over the whole civilization, which opens a new age of civilization, the Vedic period. People in the Vedic age lived in houses made from wood and straw. Their life centered around a community fireplace called yagna. It is here that people used to meet and share their life together. In the earlier Vedic period, there are many tribes formed, who nominates a chief as the head of tribe community. A new language and systematic writing system is introduced by the Aryan people, called Sanskrit. Various books called Vedas, written by the Aryans, mark the rise of the Sanskrit writing system. These books, like the Puranas, the Mahabharata, and Ramayana, recorded descriptions of the Aryan people's lifestyle, ritual, belief, wars, and other achievements. The Vedic society are required to follow the Vedas as guidelines for their lifestyle. Therefore, there is a reformation of the education system to spread the teachings of Vedas to people. Children studied under gurus in gurukuls. The education is orally transmitted to them.
एक अद्भुत अनुभव मुझे हुआ वो मैं कहूँ अब तक उसे कभी कहा नहीं.
As the civilization expanded, the Aryan people continued to expand its base population at the north. The indigenous people therefore is forced to live as south of India, thus forming two major Indian races. The North Indian mainly consists of white-skinned Aryan people and South Indian with darker skin. As the Indian population grows, followed by a more complex social organizational structure, a more systematic political system is needed to manage the civilization. A monarchical kingship started to form, with a king called Raja as the ruler. In the later Vedic period, hundreds of little kingdoms are formed. At this time, Hinduism took roots, where Brahmin priests plays a dominant role as the ruling elite. Religion becomes the reference point for everything guiding the life of Vedic society. Religious rituals are often carried out by Brahmin with emphasis on sacrifices. It was also the period where ashrams became the place for learning. They were required to do everything on their own apart from studies. The most popular form of marriage was Swayamvara, where a number of suitable grooms are assembled at the bride's house, and she chooses a husband from among them. Martial arts, including fencing and wrestling, was very popular among them. During the Vedic time, there are endless wars between these little kingdoms. People suffer from chaos, starvation, serious economic inequality between the rich and the poor, and social inequality between upper and lower class Indians. This leads to a new religious movement called Shramana movement, which is passionate in finding ways to free our souls from endless suffering and worries in our lifetime. This new rising religious philosophy later gives rise to two newly born religions, Jainism and Buddhism, and was responsible for the related concepts of yoga and meditation practice. Today, Buddhism is the fifth leading religion with 500 million believers around the world. looking deep into Vedic society, people preferred outdoor amusements like chariot racing and hunting. Gambling, storytelling and fighting competitions are also among their entertainments. And of course, playing music, singing and dancing are common practice. The uniqueness of Indian dancing is that the dance steps include silent expressions of words through gestures and body motions set to musical notes. Each gesture and body motion has its own meaning and aims to tell stories to audiences. The excellent skills of crafting during the Indus civilization still lives on until the Vedic period. The amazing craftworks can be seen on religious architecture, especially Hindu temples. Lots of symbols, flora, fauna, and human figures are chiseled and painted, which incorporates all elements of Hinduism, in the belief of bringing human beings and gods together. The Hindu temples not only served as a place of worship, but also as regional governments to develop and urbanize the cities. Sometimes they also served as a library, bank, and teaching school. It was the time until 2,300 years ago when the Vedic civilization came to a big turning point. In 330 BC, the monarchy of Alexander the Great from Greece invaded and unified the northern regions of the Indian kingdoms. However, there is one man called Chandragupta Maurya who drove out the Greek administrators and solidified his control over the northern Indian plains. He later launched an invasion to the southern Indian kingdoms and finally created the first dynasty empire to unify all regions of Indian civilization, or as people called it, the Maurya Empire. During the Maurya period, Sanskrit is fully used as the official language and writing system for the government until today. During the Gupta rule, there was an unprecedented peace and prosperity. There is religious freedom and great emphasis in education. This led to advancement in arts, music, science, and in other walks of life. However, India's fate is full of ups and downs after the Maurya dynasty. there are still wars and overthrowing of many dynasties which occurred. India even experienced an imperialism period, where it used to be dominated by a few Western countries. Today, the Indian civilization are divided into several independent countries, but what amazed us is their passion for preserving and retaining their prominent culture and main characteristics since the Indus civilization until today. It's the passion which leads India to become one of the best known and successful countries in the world with its own uniqueness.
That's all from me. I'm DJ Shini. Thank you for the listeners of Uniutama FM.